the death of a deep state will follow, because every one of their illicit Illuminati cards, their house of Illuminati cards, are about to fall down all around and crush all of the ones that have crushed us, the American people, the peoples of the world. They have kept us under their heavy-ass boot of tyrannical control, crushing our literal larynx for the last few years as they use big tech, all of their colluders in mainstream media and big banking, to silence every one of the still free, in spite of all of the intimidation, all of the murder, all of the dirty tricks, all of the lies and attacks on humanity. We're still here, and we still get right in your face and give what you have given right back to you. So let's do this. Yes, it's true. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, yeah. Another one bites the dust. Hey, hey, yeah. Another one bites the dust today. Of course, as per usual, George H.W. Bush of the Bush-Harriman family, the Brown-Harriman family, the Bush family, the Walker family, whatever they want to call themselves at any given moment in time, because they have to always hide their real face. So George Bush lived to the ripe old age of 94, just like Rockefeller and just like Soros and just like all of the billionaire bastards out there that have used their money, their influence to destroy any opposition to their tyrannical control. So let's go ahead and see where this family tree first started branching off into literal evil. So we're going to start with George H.W. Bush's, or Herbert Walker Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush's father. I'm sure you already know this, but I'm going to tell you a few things about his father and his lineage you may not know. So get ready. Get ready to be blown away. Get ready to have a party today. Yeah, because it's a day to party. One more demonic force is done and will have to judge himself when he goes to the other side. Or this one was so evil that the life force that may have been George Herbert Walker Bush may not be allowed to go forward and may have to seep right down into the dark abyss, never to experience love, light anymore, ever, for eternity. All this one probably will experience is a dark, cold, lifeless abyss. So, as we move on with the expose of evil. Prescott Sheldon Bush, born 1895, died October 8, 1972. And of course, they're going to tell you what he was when he died. Of course, Wikipedia, that leftist group of liars, Wikipedia tells you that he was a senator, he was a Wall Street investment banker, He was, of course, in the Senate from 1952 to 1963, a member of the Bush crime cabal family. He was the father of President George Herbert Walker Bush and the grandfather of President George W. Bush and Governor Jeb Bush. So he started out life in Columbus, Ohio, graduated from Yale College. Oh, of course he did. And served as an artillery officer during World War I. After the war, and this is before Yale, I'm sure, after the war he worked for several companies. He became a minor partner of the A. Harriman and Company Investment Bank in 1931. He also served as a high-ranking official of the United States Golf Association. Now wait for it, because this next bit of information you probably never heard. The Bushes settled in Connecticut in 1925 and became an active member of the Republican Party machine. As well as other causes such as Planned Parenthood. Now, the Bushes were involved, of course, in mass extinction on the global scale. And they started, I believe, but let me digress. Let's go check out his early years. Let's go back and expose George Bush, Prescott Bush's. Let's go a little bit further back into the early life of Prescott Bush. Of course, again, he was born in Columbus, Ohio, to Samuel Prescott Bush and Flora Sheldon Bush. Samuel Bush was a railroad middle manager, then a steel company president, and during World War I, also a federal government official in charge of coordination and assistance to major weapons contractors. I know you guys are doing your shocked face, but wait, you're going to have to hold that shocked face for just a moment. Bush attended St. George's School in Middleton, Rhode Island from 1908 to 1913. In 1913, of course, he enrolled in Yale College, where his paternal grandfather, Reverend James Smith Bush, he was the class of 1844, and his maternal uncle, Robert E. Sheldon Jr., class of 1904, had matriculated three subsequent generations of the Bush family. And of course, they are Yale alumni. Now, Prescott, he was admitted into the Zeta Psi fraternity, and wait for it, yes, Skull and Bones, just like his son and his grandson. According to Skull and Bones lore, Prescott Bush was among a group of bonesmen who dug up and removed the skull of Geronimo. Yeah, do you feel me now? They dug up and removed the skull of Geronimo from his grave at Fort Sill, Oklahoma in 1918. According to historian David L. Miller, the bonesmen probably dug up somebody at Fort Sill, but not Geronimo. Oh, really? I think they knew who they were looking for. Prescott Bush was a cheerleader, played varsity golf and baseball, and was president of the Yale Glee Club. At graduation, Bush served as a field artillery captain with American Expeditionary Forces during World War I. Business career. Of course, after his discharge in 1919, he went to work at Simmons Hardware Company. Do you feel me now? I'm sure that was a little bit below his expectations or his ambitions. That's why people give in to evil, these parasitic politicians, is because their expectations or their ambitions far exceed their stations in life. And that's what happened to Prescott Bush, and that's when he made the deal with the devil. In 1925, he joined the United States Rubber Company. Can't make this shit up. In 1931, he became partner of Brown Brothers Harriman and Company. Now, if you know anything about Brown Brothers Harriman Company, you will know they were the outfit that basically in 1942, let me go ahead and go over it. In 1942, they were suspected of holding gold on behalf of Nazi leaders. Subsequent government investigation. Well, they said remember folks, you're reading Wikipedia. So Wikipedia says the investigations disprove those allegations, but guess what? Those investigations are still going on today. We know because we have done the research, and I'm talking to each one of you, unless you're a deep state dingleberry that's here just to troll the channel. And there's lots of those around, man. Lots of them. That's how these accomplices to evil and mass infanticide, that's how they continue to do their dirty deeds, is by all of the willing, complicit, lazy, lemming masses who never do 1 ounce of research. They just listen and do as they are told. Prescott Bush was politically active on social issues, and wait for it, he was involved with the American Birth Control League. Well, wait, I thought the Bushes were conservative, and I thought they were pro-life. Really? No, not so much. In 1942, and he served as the treasurer of the first capital campaign of Planned Parenthood. Do you feel me now, folks? Do you feel me now? So this individual, this parasite on life, was the one that founded and funded the Planned Parenthood, folks. Yes, Mr. Lover of Life, you know, those 1,000 brilliant points of light, Mr. Illuminati himself, the one that killed Kennedy, yeah, with LBJ's help, in my opinion, my researched opinion. Yeah, he was the founder, folks, the funder and the founder of Planned Parenthood. You know, the organization that Bill Gates' mother was the first president, or I'm sorry, Bill Gates' father was the first president of. They are simpatico in death. The father of the one that just died was and is the founder and funder of Planned Parenthood and the organizations that were before Planned Parenthood. He was the founder and the funder of the Nazis. This is just a fact. Now, Barbara Bush. I tell you folks, all the time, and I've made many videos, just go check the Mother of the New World Order video from the Anti-COINTELPRO show and the Mother of the New World Order Part 2, the Khazarian Connection. Go watch those two videos. And I explained to you that every single solitary leader, including Donald Trump, they're related via blood or marriage to the Cabal. And they all come from one source, and that's Julia Caesarius, or Julia Caesar's sister. She was the mother of the New World Order, coined such in 52 BC. And after that, every single solitary world leader is related to each other, and they all come from her loins, or they marry into the family of darkness, as was the case with the Bush family. Barbara Bush, her father was Marvin Pierce. He was a descendant, of course, of the 14th president of the United States, Franklin Pierce, and president of the McCall Corporation, which published the well-known magazine McCall's and Red Book. So of course they have to control the media to control the messenger, because if you control the flow of information and you control the messenger of the flow of information, which they do, then you control the people. And that's what they have done since their inception. George Bush's grandfather, the late Senator Prescott Bush, was a director and shareholder of the companies that profited from their involvement with the financial backers of Nazi Germany. His business dealings, which continued until the company's assets were seized in 1942 under the Trading with the Enemy Act, has led to more than 60 years later to a civil action for damages being brought in Germany against the Bush family by 2 former slave laborers at Auschwitz. And to the hum of pre-election controversy, this evidence has also prompted the once former U.S. Nazi war crimes prosecutor to argue that the late senator's actions should have been grounds for prosecution for giving aid and comfort to the enemy. The debate lingers on. Of course, because that's all that ever happens, folks. Isn't it? Isn't that the only thing that ever happens to these turds in the punch bowl of life, on the stain of blood in this family you can never wash off? I mean, the blood covers Prescott on down to George and Barbara, on down to W, on down to the daughters. And of course, the new up-and-coming Latino Bush, because that's, what's cool today, right? Being a Latino. The Latino George P. Bush. And all of these Bushes are my neighbors, folks. That's why I have taken such an interest in exposing these parasitic puppets. All of these liars. Because that's what politician means, right, folks? What is politics? It comes from the Greek word poly, meaning many. Then you take the word tick, and what is a tick? It's a bloodsucker. So that's what politicians are. It's a group of a lot of blood-sucking parasites, and that's exactly what they are. They use words to fool you. They use words to confuse you. They use words to control you. Words are meaningless. All you can do is look towards actions and behaviors, former actions. That's how you're going to dictate their actions going forward, because they don't ever change. They're uncreative parasites, and that's all they are. They don't have the ability to change. All they have the ability to do is what they were designed to do, and that is to suck your blood dry. Whether that blood being literal blood, or whether that blood be your livelihood, your financial viability, your universal law. It's a law, folks. You have the law to protect yourself, the universal law of protection. You have the universal law that says you have the right to work and feed your family and feed yourself. And once somebody violates that, and once some entity like the Zionist, their collaborators in the deep state, the establishment, the Bush crime cabal, the Clinton crime cabal, the Obama crime syndicate, they're all part of the Bush crime cabal, right? They all branch off from that evil tree of darkness. Not of knowledge, but of darkness and evil and ignorance. So that being said, psych, you guys thought I was going live, right? Not so much. A moving target is hard to hit. And whenever I let the machine know that I'm going live, well, they embed and they hack into my system like the ticks they are as well, the digital ticks. They're all blood suckers. It's just some of them suck a little literal blood. Those are the politicians, right? Some of them suck your livelihood. Those are the banking parasites, the Zionists. And some suck your ability to work and speak and move free, and those are the digital parasites. But make no bones about it, they're all parasites, folks. So join me, join the real resistance to evil. That is the anti-COINTELPRO show. Help me survive and expose for another day. They have froze my bank accounts, folks. Okay? This is not a lie. It's not a joke. It's not a bit. I've shown you the evidence that they had no cause. They actually went outside the color of law and illegally froze my bank accounts because I'm just a little bit too uppity and I won't shut up. And they're not right, and they're not just ready to make a martyr out of me by putting a bullet in my head, but I'm sure that's next. But until then, folks, keep this show, keep this country, keep this world free by keeping those of us who are not monetized for a reason. Help us to keep doing what we do, and that's exposing evil and running towards the fire of liberty and truth, which is under fire 24/7 by all of these political parasites, and that's all they are. Every single solitary one of them is a political parasite in one form or fashion or another, because they have to cheat. They can never compete, and they are never going to compete. The only thing they're able to do is to lie and cheat and steal and suck your blood and kill your children and rape your children. All they can do is what they've always done, and that is intimidate and run roughshod over humanity. So please go to the PayPal donation either in the chat window or either in the description bar below this video. Donate now. Donate often. Help keep Joe Wayne free. Help keep the anti-COINTELPRO show and the ACP through and through family together in a thing so that we can collude with each other, right? For truth and justice and the real American way. This is Joe Wayne with all of the aforementioned. Good day and good luck. And please support the show.